seriously, because see, I'm a historian. So if you haven't heard me, or if I haven't ever mentioned this on this show, I watch a lot of history channels and the military channel, and I love stuff like that. I love watching things about history, whether it's about Genghis Khan or Alexander the Great. I love history. It's beautiful. I do. I just love it. I love watching things about World War II and the Vietnam War. I just love all of that. The one thing that I despise about Russia is the fact that in the Cold War, they never fought. It was like, we're going to have other people do our deeds, and we're going to sit back and just watch all the fighting. So yes, America, they fought in the Cold War, and the Cold War was against, it was the United States versus Russia, but they never technically fought. They had other countries doing their fighting for them. So for somebody like me, I have never forgotten that. So anytime we can smack up on Russia, I'm all for that. Seriously, I am patriotic. I love my country, and I love when I see we can just dominate and whoop up on Russia. Now, when I come back, Tim Tebow, I don't understand why there are individuals out there, like him, who feel like they can dominate a sport. I'll talk about that next here on the Grizz.
Some hot, like I told Tish, I see when I like you see them twirl, then he drops it, and we keep them to my block, and Monte keep it on him, he them drop, and he be wildin', he some hot, tones known to get busy with me, try to run down and you can catch it, running through till I pass out, and shoot you. But you just might as well live.
We're back, and this is the Grizz, and thank you for listening to me here on SME. So before I went on break, I was talking about, and I couldn't remember the young lady's name. Her name is Simone Biles. I think that's her last name. Hey, that girl right there, yeah, she's no joke. That girl right there, she's bad. And she's another one with the cord/nappy hair, but hers is not as bad as Gabby Douglas. Now, I'm not here to sit there and just bash these young black women. I'm not here, but this is what black women have told me. So the only thing that I'm doing is just reciting exactly what has been echoed to me. That's all I'm doing. I'm not here to bash these black women who are going out there and they are dominating. And one thing that I know about America, certain Americans, is that when they see too many black people dominating, they're like, okay, here they go again. Here they go again. They dominating. 4 years ago, we seen one black girl. Now we see 2 black girls. So what we gonna see the next Olympics? 3, 4, 5 black girls? Not all Americans, but we do know that there are some Americans out there who don't like the fact that these 2 black girls are getting a shine on and they just as fly as they want to be and they dominating. They don't like this. They really don't like it. But for me, I love it. Now, enough of that. So, Tim Tebow. You know, the thing that gets me about athletes is that they really, really feel like they can sit there and go to the next man's sport and sit there and dominate. You know, something that comes to my mind, an individual who comes to my mind, actually there are 2 individuals. One who played basketball and then another one who played football. Okay, let's start with the one who played basketball. Wilt Chamberlain. You remember when, and if you're, you know, maybe 30 years old, if you're my age and maybe 40 years old, but if you're 50 years old, you remember, or 45 years old, 50 years old, you remember when Wilt Chamberlain, people out there actually thought that Wilt Chamberlain can beat Muhammad Ali? That's the most absurd thing I have ever heard in my life. I don't care how strong somebody like the Big Dipper was. There's no way on God's green earth that he can sit there, get in the ring with Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, and sit there and win. If that fight would have happened, Muhammad Ali would have, I'm not going to lie, if that was me, I would have tried to kill Wilt Chamberlain for the simple fact that he wants to sit here and he wants to disrespect me like that. Like, I'm not trying to go and be a basketball player. I don't think that I'm a better basketball player than he is, but for some odd reason, he wants to disrespect me and disrespect the sport of boxing by thinking he can beat me. And then the next person who comes to my mind is Jim Brown. Jim Brown actually thought that he can whoop Muhammad Ali. And there's a picture out there, and you see Bodini, and you see Muhammad Ali's trainer, you see all these people out there, and you have somebody like Jim Brown who actually thought that he could whoop Muhammad Ali. And it's like, are you serious? So Muhammad Ali was like, oh, okay. So you really think that you can beat me? Like, you're a football player. Like, you do know that you're a football player. Like, you're not a boxer. So you want to disrespect me. And then Muhammad Ali cracked him with a jab. After that, he knew his role. Like, you had to put some respect on that man's name. And all of this I'm saying is because of Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow thinks that he can play in the major leagues. I don't know why he thinks that, but he truly in his mind thinks that he can go and play in the major leagues. I'm talking about MLB. Now, the last time that he played in the major leagues was 11 years ago, and that's when he was in high school. So it's like, okay, yeah, my football career is gone. I'm a bum of a quarterback, and I want to be a professional. Like, I want to be able to tell my kids that I was actually great at something than just praying. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with praying. I do it a lot myself. But he wants to be known more than just, hey, I'm a prayer. Like, he wants people to know him more than just that. So it's like he has had like a midlife crisis, and now he thinks that he can play baseball. And then it doesn't make it any better when you have somebody like Gary Sheffield saying, you know what, you give him 2 years, yeah, he can do it. Like, come on, for real, Gary Sheffield, who I respect. I mean, he is one of my favorite baseball players of all time. I used to love how he would just wiggle that bat, and then be able to hit a 99-mile-per-hour fastball with movement and crush the ball. So when Gary Sheffield says that he's looking good, who am I to sit there and argue about it? But my thing is this. It's one thing to look good when you don't see a Madison Bumgarner in front of you, or you don't see a Clayton Kershaw in front of you. Yeah, you can do that then, but let's see when those guys are in front of you. It's one thing to hit a ball and there's no movement on it, but let's see when the lights are at its brightest, and then let's see what you can do. Hey, like I told y'all before, I do a little boxing. I'm not here saying that I'm the greatest of all time, because Lord knows I'm not, but I can shadow box. And for a minute I was shadow boxing and I was thinking I was good, and I'm moving like Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sling like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble, right? I'm thinking I'm just the man. And then I get in the ring with Nolan. And man, he beat my ass. So it was like, yeah, you're looking good. You're throwing your jab properly. You're throwing your right hand properly. You're bobbing. You're weaving. You're dancing. But nobody is in front of you. See, the only thing that was in front of me was the air. There was no defender. So when I started getting hit with right hands and jabs, I'm like, man, this is nothing nice. Like, what the hell is this? Why is this man hitting me so hard? Now, I'm not no chump, y'all. Now, I just didn't sit there and just let him just beat me down. I was fighting back. I was moving. I was jabbing to the body, come across with the left hook, at least try to hit him with a right hand. And I really couldn't get the right hand off, because to throw a right hand is actually really hard, and throw it the proper way, it's really hard. But, you know, it boggles my mind the way in which athletes, how they think that they can sit there. And we're talking about baseball. See, one of the easiest sports to transform into is a sport that Tim Tebow left. We've seen countless players play basketball and then make that transition to football and dominate. Antonio Gates is one. We've seen it on countless occasions where you have a guy who has never ever played the game of football, but then go out there and dominate. Look at Jimmy Graham. Now, Jimmy Graham, he doesn't want the physicality, but as far as going up there and catching the ball at its highest point, he can do that. He doesn't want that physicality. He wants no parts of that. But he's still in the NFL. He's still collecting a paycheck. He's still a millionaire. And so that's one of those sports that you can actually do that. Basketball, depending on how tall you are, depending on your dexterity, and depending on how agile you are, you can make that transition too. But baseball, hand-eye coordination, I don't see it. I don't think he can do it. I'm just going to be honest with you. I understand and I respect what Gary Sheffield is saying. Trust me, I do. But like I said before, it's one thing to sit there and you're in batting practice, you're in the cage, and you can control what pitches are being thrown. But when you go up against Madison Bumgarner, or you go up against Clayton Kershaw, you can't control that. You don't know on the 3-2 pitch. You don't know if he's going to throw. You don't know what he's going to throw. You don't know if he's going to throw that slider. You don't know if he's going to throw that curveball. Or you don't know if he's going to come with that heater. You don't know what Clayton Kershaw going to come with. You just don't know. So, nah, I'm not sold on that. And I'm just really sick and tired of that. I'm sick and tired of other athletes feeling like, look at Tracy McGrady. He really thought that he can sit there and play in the major leagues. Like, I've never really played baseball before. And if I did it as a child. But, yeah, I can't play in the NBA anymore. But I'm a great athlete. So, let me go out here and see if I can play some baseball. Really? And then, hold up. Can't forget about Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He really thought that because he was this great basketball player,